Leading organizations have cracked the code. They have integrated technology and business. They are using new technologies and agility to drive efficiency and innovations. They are also moving from traditional transactional vendor relationships towards real business partnerships. This discussion is part of Built on Trust series, in which we deep dive on strategic partnerships, what those strategic partnerships are, and how strategic partnerships create and provide a competitive advantage for the organizations. My name is Jari Välimäki, and today, among other things, we discussed that how is digital business maturity driving customer experience and maybe revenue growth as well. And with me, I have Sari Leppänen, a strong leader with the two different hats at the moment. You are CIO and the CTO of DNA. So really happy to have you here today, Sari.
Thank you, and thank you for the invite.
Yes, so I a little bit read about DNA. I of course know DNA as well, and I know that you have undergone a major transformation. So used to be 20 years ago challenger in this market. Now you are definitely one of the leading telecom and technology service providers in Finland. And I heard that your mission is that you want to actually make your customers' lives less complicated, and the cost efficiency is important for you. Speed and innovations are important for you, but I've also seen you presenting many times and talking about the humane, leadership, being in the center in DNA as well. But I know that your ambition is to have actually higher than average market growth, and digital playing a key role in that. How would you describe the strategic importance of digital for DNA's business?
Well, I think it's really in the center of our business, and we are a technology company, and we provide digital services, and all the digital services are built on a digital base, including various solutions in networks, computing, user interfaces, using heavily data and analytics, and especially now AI in our product and service creation. So I would say that digital era is really present in our business and also in our product and service development.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, of course, you are telco, but you are also technology company and
yes.
Digital company. How do you see that? What is the role of your own technology and the IT organization in this digital business context?
That is actually well phrased. So you said digital business, and that's where actually the whole story starts. So when business goes digital, then it requires that there is no actually completely separate IT and technology organization or function, but those are truly part of the business and customer experience creation. So basically, first of all, it calls for very tight collaboration, and even kind of today we talk about fusion teams or feature teams and value streams and other stuff, and the whole thing is actually to pull together around the same table business, IT and technology people. And that is what we need to be able to create added value for our customers and for our business in digital business era. So that is one thing. And of course, the role in that setup of IT and technology organization is really, it is creating the enablers for our business. Networks, computing, AI solutions, and the whole product development, and then of course digital user interfaces. So for our customers how to buy services, and also nowadays more and more customers both in B2C and B2B, so consumer business and enterprise business, they want to have self-service 24/7, 365. So basically, IT and technology is really in the center of digital business in any industry, I would say.
Absolutely, and you talked about those fusion teams, so business and technology and IT what do you see that, what is the role of strategic partnerships, in this ecosystem play?
Yes, exactly. And the Fusion teams, we shouldn't actually limit those to be kind of a company internal. So what I see is that, the competition in the markets is getting tighter and tighter, and then it is really vital actually that we have strategic partners and the whole ecosystem producing the offering and the products for our customers that they would like to have and what they need. So basically, I see that in overall the kind of partnerships and strategic partnerships, so that has a bit different flavor, and the whole ecosystem play will increase its importance going forward. And that is, like I said, first of all in the business context, or let's say in the offering and go to market side, but also technology landscape is evolving tremendously fast. So basically there we need also strategic partnerships to onboard new technologies and to create the kind of a whole innovation platform for our product creation. So, in many dimensions I see the importance and relevance of growing, ecosystems in go-to-market, in widening actually the offering and product portfolio together with partners and the whole ecosystem, and then in onboarding new technologies and including competence, renewal and learning for people in organization. That's also where partners can tremendously help.
Sounds great. Building a little bit on that, so what is in your mind, what is strategic partner? What are the requirements for strategic partner?
That is very good point and good question, because I think the notion of strategic partnership differs quite a lot from the old days where we used to have this kind of a subcontracting kind of a collaboration, or we are buying resources hour per hour. So strategic partnership, I would say, it starts with common goals and targets. And actually the whole partnership has to be established so that it is kind of a win-win situation for both. And the partners, first of all, the partners need to select each other correctly. So they both need to commit to the common target, and they need to be able to win something out of that. And then the other dimension in strategic partnership is actually the long-term relationship. And for example, strategic partners, they need to be part of the long-term strategic target creation. And that calls quite a different operating model with partners compared to the subcontractors, for example. So it is a bit different game, actually.
Absolutely. So, what is your recipe that how to make this kind of partnerships, strategic partnerships, work? You talked about, of course, target, setting. You kind of talked about seat at the table to be part of that target setting and strategic direction. Do you have any other tips and hints that how to make this kind of partnerships work?
It is the whole package, starting from basically the internal strategy in companies. So first of all, you need to think really hard. What is actually the core in your business? And this kind of a make or buy strategy. So what you will do and want to do and you should do internally. So what adds value actually when done internally. And then with this kind of a plan, you can see what are the areas where you would need partners, either for the ones that we mentioned, I mentioned earlier, so go-to-market, product portfolio of widening, or technology onboarding. You select the partners you need to have in your company, and then I would say that less partners, but larger kind of relationships and larger domains or areas where the strategic partners collaborate. So first, it is very important to select actually the areas and the partners you collaborate with. And then, of course, the targets, sharing the targets, sharing also somewhat actually the risk. And then the whole operating model. So how do you establish these kind of fusion teams? And how do you do the leadership, including rewarding, learning from failures, and so forth. And this is very important part actually of the whole collaboration. So it becomes kind of a one team that is working against the company targets.
Yeah, I love it, and of course, I'm really happy that you took up this leadership aspect as well. I know that you talk a lot about humane leadership, in DNA. So how do you see that that plays a role in building these fusion teams that go beyond your own organizational boundaries as well?
When having kind of a fusion teams or kind of a extended or combined teams across the internal people and people with the partner, the leadership has to be very consistent and basically applying the same kind of humane leadership principles across the whole extended team. So basically in DNA, quite often I have said that you can present strategy and goals in different ways. Typically, it is kind of starting with the customer experience number one, and then comes a couple of product things, and then the last one is actually people. So employee satisfaction and so forth. What we say in DNA is actually number one is our employee satisfaction. Happy people, because they generate actually good customer experience. And that generates market growth and business growth, and that allows us then to have impact in the society. So this is how we tell the whole strategy story, and this is how it should be captured also in these extended teams with partners. So the humane leadership starting from people, it has to extend there. And also including, clear, transparent goals, and all the other components of leadership, open communication, bravely talking about things and bringing even difficult things on the table. And also kind of one important component is having the secure basis also for failures. So kind of when the first unhappy situation comes, it doesn't mean and the people shouldn't be afraid of that this partnership or the will be dissolved or ended when something goes wrong. But learning from failures, all of that is about humane leadership, and it has to extend across the whole team, including partner people.
That is definitely my experience as well. That especially in those situations when you have problems, you actually build trust when you actually together resolve those situations properly and as quickly as possible. And those are best ways in strengthening the partnerships as well. Of course, we always try to avoid problems, but those are great opportunities to building trust as well. How do you see that? In this context, what are the emerging requirements for the partners. What would you like to see more, from partners?
I would say that it is hugely important, to understand the role of a partner in the relationship. So, for example, in case it is about onboarding new technology, onboarding new competencies, and so forth, in overall, I think the understanding of the common goal, and then understanding what is the role of each actor in that is extremely important. And partners, I would say, this strategic partnership requires actually the partners to be more engaged in the strategic dimension, in understanding the business strategy, what we are after, and then also contributing more heavily, actually. How do we do that? So kind of it is very different relationship to subcontracting. So more contribution and more leveraging, actually, for example, know-how and know-how on, for example, new technologies.
Yeah, I mean, of course, there are two different parts in this kind of partnerships. Of course, there is this skin in the game type of aspect, but then you need to give the seat at the table as well. But then, of course, partners will need to be able to take that seat at the table and contribute with your business strategy, teams and growth strategies, and you achieving your business goals as well. Hey, thanks a lot, Sari. This has been excellent discussion. So thanks a lot for joining us today.
Thank you. Thank you for the invite. Very nice chat. Thank you, Jari.
Excellent. Thank you.